With the sudden, unannounced closure of Kingda Ka, the question that I have is, what about the fate of X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain? Will the park remove their most popular coaster just like Great Adventure just did? My name is Brandon and welcome to my channel, Theme Park Brandon. I'm really glad you're here, and with all these rumors and speculation about the parks removing coasters from the Six Flags side of things, everyone's wondering about X2. What's going to happen, and will this coaster be standing at the park in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and so forth? I'm also going to share with you a crazy idea that I have that would literally change every aspect of Magic Mountain for the better, mind you, and really give it a massive plot of land to build something quite special that the park could benefit from for decades and decades to come. Now, a quick warning, these are not predictions. This is just me sharing my ideas, my thoughts. So those of you who take my channel way too seriously and think everything I say is a prediction, again, this is not a prediction. This is just me sharing my thoughts as to what I think is happening in regards to X2. And for those of you who do not know much about X2, well, this coaster was Aerodynamics' last full circuit coaster they ever built, and they went out with a bang. This ride opened up in 2002 after quite a few delays and has been thrilling riders ever since. And while personally I've yet to experience X or X2, I hear that the ride experience is out of this world and just insane. Standing at a height of 175 feet, featuring a drop of 215 feet throughout the 3,610 foot long coaster, you're not going to be able to tell which way's up or down. That is how insane this coaster is. Because look at these awesome looking trains. Which brings me to one of my reasons as to why I do think X2 is on the radar for the new Six Flags in terms of coasters that will be removed sooner than later from the parks. And that is the maintenance cost. This ride is no joke. You're talking, it's a major steel coaster that adds a ton of supports as well as a very unique track system that allows these trains to rotate throughout the entire ride. Seriously, X2 is the only coaster like it here in North America. In fact, there's only 2 other ones out there that are like X2, and both of those are designed and built by S&S. So X2 is the prototype and the oldest model, again, in its Aerodynamics last coaster. And the sad news is Aerodynamics is no longer around anymore, which typically means that parts for coasters are harder to come by, or flat rides, or any type of rides for that matter. But the good news is that S&S acquired part of Aerodynamics in 2002. So I think that's a promising for X2 in the future. But again, it's all about these trains. These trains take a lot of different components that are a lot different than your average roller coaster train, which means a lot more money to maintain usually, as well as wear and tear. And not to mention, we're talking these trains are off the side of the track, which is probably going to bring the train more stress fractures as well as even more maintenance just because of the weight that's located off of the wheel assembly as riders are hanging on the side of the track. Another thing is X2's height. I know myself doesn't really think it's that tall, but again, this coaster is 175 feet tall and features a drop of 215 feet. This is a large-scale coaster that is located in Southern California, which is prone to earthquakes. So again, that might play into the future of X2. Maybe, maybe not. It really is hard to tell just because no one expected Six Flags to close down the world's tallest and fastest operating coaster in Kingda Ka out of nowhere. Which means if you're one of those sitting there watching this and you think X2 safe, Six Flags Magic Mountain would never remove it because it is the marquee attraction at the park, I hate to be that guy, but again, Kingda Ka was that for Great Adventure. I mean, someone can argue El Toro was, but as far as the marketing power and the dominance that Kingda Ka had over Great Adventure, and the new Six Flags decided to remove it within a few weeks of the park even knowing about it, is just crazy. So again, I really feel like X2, the future doesn't look that great in my opinion because of the maintenance. And when you have a prototype ride as big as X2, the life expectancy really isn't that great usually. And I can easily see Six Flags saying, you know what, this coaster costs too much money to maintain going forward, therefore we're going to rip it out and replace it with something else. And more on that in a minute. Another reason why I do think X2 could be removed soon is because, well, it's old, like myself. I mean, this coaster is over 20 years old. It debuted in 2002. So most coasters last anywhere from 30 to 40 to 50 years. However, again, with the dynamic that X2 offers, with the trains, the layout, the transitions, everything about the coaster itself, I don't know. I don't know how long this coaster has, life expectancy wise, and for that reason, I am skeptical of the future of this coaster. Now for some positive, and why I think X2 is safe for now, and that is, luckily for Magic Mountain, there's two other coasters there that I feel as if could get removed sooner than X2. And those would be Superman Krypton Coaster and Viper. Yes, the other aerodynamics coaster in the park that stands right next to X2. That coaster opened up way back in 1990 when I was only 7 years old. And this sleek red track and white support coaster features 7 inversions, and sadly, it's the last of the mega aerial coasters that feature over 6 or 7 inversions here in North America. We saw Six Flags remove the Shockwave from Great America in Chicago to make way for Superman Ultimate Flight, and then we saw Six Flags Great Adventure remove the Great American Scream Machine to make way for the Green Lantern, and then of course Kings Island removed the Vortex to make way for that beautiful plot of land full of all the grass that is destined for the park's next coaster. So that is why I feel like X2 is safe for now. I really don't think Magic Mountain would remove Superman, Viper, and X2 all in 1 year, or let alone over the span of 2 years. But the big question that I have, just imagine if Six Flags Magic Mountain would remove Viper and X2 at once to make way for the park's next major attraction. You're talking a huge, the possibilities are endless for any type of coaster really that Magic Mountain would want to have be located in this area. And as much as I like Viper and would like to ride X2 before they tear it down, if I was a Six Flags executive in the planning and design department, I would be eyeing this plot of land for future development that honestly I think could bring in more return on investment for the park than what we see with Viper and X2. As for what type of rides and coasters, well, again, this isn't really a prediction video, but there's a lot of great rides that I think Magic Mountain could really benefit from. I am very intrigued by their Project 2026 coaster. It's the first of its kind here in North America, so whatever that is, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I really feel like Magic Mountain is all set in the thrill ride department. So if 2026 is based on the thrill rides, meaning that's going to be a thrill ride based coaster, then whatever they replace Viper or X2 with, maybe it's more family oriented, really trying to balance out the park with the thrill rides, family rides, and the kiddie rides. Because remember, as much as you and I want the next best awesome major coaster, Giga, Hyper, whatever it is, will that bring in the best type of crowds and the money to the park? Because if I was in charge of Magic Mountain, I would so replace both of these coasters with the world's first RMC T-Rex if and when RMC finally develops that concept and is ready for parks to start building it. Now, if you're curious how the roller coasters of Magic Mountain stack up in height, then be sure to watch this video at the bottom of your screen where I share with you the top 10 tallest roller coasters that you can find at Six Flags Magic Mountain. So what's your thoughts and predictions regarding X2 at Magic Mountain? You know what to do. Let me know in the comments. This is Theme Park Brandon. I hope you have a blessed day. Remember to smile today, think positive, and of course, keep riding coasters.